Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the first news on 9th April newspaper front page dawn. Whopping rupees 1.27 trillion hike in taxes committed with IMF. Government to raise electricity tariff by rupees 4.97 per unit in remaining 3 months of current fiscal year by Philip Kiani. Islamabad, Pakistan has made commitment with the International Monetary Fund (IMF) to increase FBR taxes by a massive rupees 1.272 trillion, almost 2.8% of GDP in the coming budget, and jack up electricity rates by almost rupees 4.97 per unit in the remaining 3 months of the current fiscal year. According to documents released by the IMF after approval by its Executive Board of Directors of the Modified Extended Fund Facility, EFF, the government has also given an undertaking to continue making electricity tariff adjustments next year on monthly, quarterly, and annual basis through automatically regulated NEPRA's amended powers. The documents also suggest that the government will continue increasing petroleum levy on oil products until the maximum level of rupees 30 per litre this year and next year to collect about rupees 510 billion this year instead of budgeted target of rupees 450 billion. The petroleum levy target for the next year has been set at rupees 607 billion. The provinces have given an undertaking to provide rupees 570 billion cash surplus to the federal government and increase it to rupees 729 billion next year. As such, the tax collection target for the Federal Board of Revenue in next year's budget has been committed at rupees 5.963 trillion against rupees 4.9691 trillion, revised target for the current fiscal year. About rupees 500 billion will be additional tax generation through general sales tax (GST) and personal income tax reform with the FY 2022 budget yielding an estimated 1.1% of GDP. Under the agreement, the government would also bring down the current year's development program to rupees 1.169 trillion against the budgeted target of rupees 1.324 trillion. The government has also given an undertaking to take adjustments in gas tariff and not to consider any tax exemption or tax amnesty in future. Also, the IMF made it part of the program conditions to have detailed audit of the funds allocated for combating COVID-19, including contracts and beneficial ownership of bidding reserves, including medical supplies. The IMF confirmed that Pakistan had completed a total of 5 prior actions to divide the fund program, including rupees 3.57 per unit increase in electricity tariff and submission of the SPP amendment bill into Parliament to divide the EFF program and ensure disbursement of $500 million. However, Finance Secretary Kamran Ali Afzal had told the National Assembly's Standing Committee on Finance on Wednesday that the SBP amendment bill had not yet been submitted to Parliament and resisted discussions on it unless it becomes a public document. The IMF documents showed Pakistan also agreed to have a total of 11 new structural benchmarks, while another equal number of unmet previous structural benchmarks would remain in place of implementation under revised deadlines. Speaking at a live briefing, the IMF's mission chief for Pakistan, Ernesto Ramirez Ruigo, said that despite hard economic conditions amid COVID-19, steep adjustments in energy tariff were inevitable because the rising circular debt was a drain on public finance and a drag on economic growth. He agreed that these were unpleasant adjustments, but solution lied in the combination of cost recoveries, loss reduction, and system improvement. He said the increase in revenues was also a hard choice, along with control on unnecessary expenditures to spare fiscal space for social sector spending, including health and education. He said the removal of plenty of tax exemptions, including GST, was not easy with political economy, but was necessary to continue to broaden the tax base. Responding to a question about negotiations on the fund program following recent statements by Prime Minister Imran Khan and Finance Minister Ahmad Azhar, the IMF mission chief said the two sides had been in contact soon after the disbursement of $500 million, and it was an ongoing process as part of quarterly reviews. However, he said the government had made no formal request for negotiations. He said that while remaining within the program objectives and design, the sequencing could always be discussed as it was not something written on stone. There could always be different approaches to achieve the same results, he said. The government confirmed that the cabinet had approved a timetable for the determined but not yet notified electricity price adjustments. The timetable includes a two-staged implementation of the fiscal year 2021 annual rebasing determined as Rs 3.34 per unit increase in the base tariff. The government will have to change subsidy policy that involved an expanded definition of the lifeline tariff and through provision of average of previous 12 months consumption rather than the existing monthly consumption. As part of the circular debt management plan, an embedded mechanism of automaticity, automaticity of tariff adjustments in line with the plan's declining path of accumulation of new areas has been ensured, streamlining the process of carbon tariff adjustments to increase its predictability. The new tariff adjustment plan, designed in consultation with our international partners, will consolidate tariff adjustments to significantly reduce the number of end consumer tariff adjustments in fiscal year 2022, while delivering the required revenue upon the system, the finance minister said. In particular, the fuel price adjustment, the quarterly adjustment by capacity payment, and the annual rebasing of tariff will continue to take place, but their timing will be adjusted to alleviate consumers from the impact of continued tariff adjustments. The government has agreed to broaden and harmonize the GST base underpinned by a unified tax base and within the confines of the current constitution. Notably, this will eliminate all zero rated goods fixed year, except export and capital machinery goods, and move them onto the standard sales tax rate, remove reduced rates under the 8th schedule, and bring all those goods into the standard sale tax rate, and eliminate exemptions 6th schedule, excluding a small subset of goods, that is, basic food, medicines, live animals for human consumption, education, and health related goods. The government will bring all others under the standard rate and remove the 9th schedule to replace a specific tax rate for cell phones with the standard rate. These reforms are expected to yield an estimated 0.7% of GDP on an annualized basis. On top, the government will reform personal income tax PIT regime to change the existing tax rate structure by reducing the number of rates and income tax brackets from 11 to 5 and decreasing the size of income slabs. It will also introduce special tax procedures for very small taxpayers amid aimed at preventing further tax base erosion and facilitating formalization of the economy, and then adopt a long-term strategy to reduce labor informality and to bring additional taxpayers into the PIT net. This reform is expected to yield a 0.4% of GDP on an annualized basis. And in the end, the formal request, if you have not yet, please subscribe our channel and press the like and bell button to get the press from us. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time and goodbye.